Jetset, go! I'm a neuro-linguistic programming practitioner and clinical hypnotherapist. And here in the show, we talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly in travels. And so today, what we're going to be talking about is, of course, like money and traveling. Because, like, obviously, money is a big component of being able to travel. So, of course, like, you start first of all, with your budget, how much are you willing to spend? How far are you willing to go? And so, like, try to balance that out, like, how will it work? And of course, like, once you have actually figured out where you want to go and then it fits your budget, like, find out as well if you're going to go with a particular person. Because, like, if you're bringing your child or, bringing a companion or, like, your significant other, then, of course, like, you have to calculate that in as well. It's different when you're traveling solo as far as, like, budget is concerned, as far as, like, being with somebody else, like, that can add up here and there when you think about it. Actually, it's a big amount because, like, there's also the airfare. Like, the hotel, you can actually, just bring them in unless, like, it's an Airbnb and then the count is per head. So, like, that's going to be a big difference. And of course, like, once you're ready and you have purchased your ticket, so you are at the airport, and of course, like, you want to make sure that you also have, that in mind, that you are within the parameters of what is the weight which is being allowed. Because, like, if you are actually bringing much more than what is allowed, the tendency is you have to pay more for whatever you have brought as additional, luggage. And that can be, like, overwhelming. I remember when I was traveling to England, and so, like, what I did is that, I pack everything in my big luggage, but I have a hand carry. And so, like, that hand carry became empty because I want to make sure that, I am able to fit everything in my big luggage. And the funny thing is that, the hand carry luggage that was empty now, it's big in size. So I still had to pay an extra amount of money just for that particular, bag, which doesn't really have anything anymore. But, I didn't want to let it go because, like, I bought that in Spain and I really love it. And so, yeah, like, sometimes you learn your lesson. And so that is as far as, like, being at the airport. Of course, like, if you are familiar, of course, like, been traveling a lot, you know that the cost of food at the airport can be, skyrocketing. So, like, especially as far as the water is concerned, like, or the drinks. That's, where most people who are vendors in the different airports are earning money because, like, when you think about it, like, that's the first thing that people actually buy, something to drink. And so another thing is that once you are there at the airport, like, you can think about actually bringing a water container because, like, if you have a water container, you can just, like, fill up your water container inside the airport because, like, especially here in Chicago, they have, like, different water fountains that you can fill up your water container. And so you at least, like, save a certain amount of money because, like, water at the airport can probably, like, range from $4 and, or the drinks can be much, much more expensive as far as, like, let's say you're having a cocktail while you're waiting. So those things all add up. Sometimes, like, those little things, we don't think about it, but when you sum it up, it's just going to be, like, totaling to much more higher amount. And so also, before you actually travel, you have to make sure that you are actually informing your bank. There are some situations wherein, like, you have heard those people who cannot even use their credit card or whatever card they have because, like, they didn't inform the bank. So that's an automatic reaction of the bank. Like, they will be, thinking it as a fraud if you're actually not, informing them. And then, like, what happens? Like, if you don't have enough cash, then you're going to be, in a problematic situation. And so, like, another thing about that is that, be careful with what you put in your social media. Because like, sometimes if you be putting in your social media, like, you are traveling. And so like, scammers will take advantage of that and they will say like, okay, okay, she's traveling. And so like, I'm gonna be, this is for the hackers. They will be hacking your account and they'll say like, oh, okay, I am in such and such, a location, and then like, I ran out of cash, and then like, they will be, bothering all of your friends, say like, I ran out of cash. And so like, people believe that, okay, like, she's traveling, so that's correct, and she's going to that, place. And so like, they already have an inkling that, okay, I know I'm very close with Lorii, or I'm very close whoever you are. And so like, they will think that that's really you. And so like, I've had, learned some instances wherein actually people shelled out money. And so they shelled out money and sending this money to particular person who's actually the scammer. So just be careful about that. And so there are also some instances wherein like, the people who are actually like watching you when you are withdrawing money in the bank. So like they can see like, what number are you punching in. And so like there are some instances wherein like those fraudulent people will actually put a fake reader for your card so that they can actually read what is the numbers, or, it's a particular reader wherein they will be actually like, be able to withdraw money from your bank account. So like, what I usually do is that I actually try to pull whatever is the card reader just for safety. Because like if they're loose, that's the, big warning or red flag that, that particular item is being used by, somebody who has an evil purpose. So, just make sure that, you are also looking around here and there, left and right, like, who else is watching you while you are, withdrawing money. And another thing to be cautious about is that you don't add additional zero in your withdrawing. So let's say you're only withdrawing, let's say 100 euro. That was your intention. And then, because like, 000, can actually, be the cause of your more money being withdrawn. So like, if you are just withdrawing 100, make sure there are only 2 zeros that you have punched, and then like, there was no accident that you have hit an additional 0. Because like, apparently when there was still like no euro in, I was in France, and then like, I accidentally hit 0. And so, I withdrew a lot of money. And so like, I wasn't intending that. And so like, it made me nervous in a sense, because like I was carrying a lot of money. And so just, be cautious about that as well. And another thing is that before you actually travel, because like, one big component aside from the hotel and the airfare is also the particular area of eating, because like, you have to eat every day anyway. So like, you have to figure out which are the restaurants which are within your budget, and find out what are you willing to splurge for. So like, that actually happens, that, there's a tendency that you'll be spending much more if you are actually not focusing on like, what are you willing to splurge for. Like, let's say I have another guest here not too long ago, and then like, I guess like, that's within her, goal, that she bought a carpet. So like, imagine a carpet which is like, usually thousands of dollars. And so like, if that's not within your budget, then just make sure that, you are not tempted, no matter how, beautiful it is, or, if you don't really need it. And so it's also an art to learn how to haggle, because like, in some countries that you will be visiting, it's a practice. Let's say, you go to India, and that's a regular practice for them, or, I think like they're also, applicable in a lot of Asian countries. And so make sure that, you are willing to be able to actually like, figure out how can you actually withdraw. Because like, if not, like, you have to actually make sure that you are ready for that. Okay, so learn certain words concerning money, and make sure that you know how to order or like buy things, because like sometimes there's going to be a barrier as far as like language is concerned. So yeah, just be very very cautious about different things. And so also when you think about money, there's also the point wherein like how much am I willing to spend for different gifts, because like I have no idea about the your culture, but in our culture in the Philippines we usually buy presents. So if you have somebody that in that particular country that you're going, and so like you have to be able to add that also in your budget. And so like I think that's pretty much cover all about budget. And so like just give me a holler just in case you have any questions as far as budget is concerned. So in this talk show, we talk about like different things which is related to money, and so like I hope that it was able to help you. And in the show, you can be your own Rick Steve, Samantha Brown, or Peter Greenberg, and you can have your own twist as far as like how things will work. So we're always looking for resource speakers. If you have had a lot of travels in your life, just give me a holler. I'd be able to have you in the show. And also if you are in the tourism or hospitality industry, just let me know. I'm sure you have a lot of nuggets to share with us. So I see you soon. You take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.